Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Build Show. I'm John Peitzman, JP, Certified High Performance Coach and creator of the Build Framework. I work with individuals and teams all over the world to help them thrive in their personal and professional lives. And as your host on this show, our aim is to help change lives, one guest at a time. And how do we do that? Well, we do that by having amazing guests. And today, of course, is no different. We have with us Travis Lloyd. Travis Lloyd is a highly accomplished and respected professional who has spent nearly 20 years in leadership positions with extensive experience in management, sales, and business development. He has worked across multiple industries before moving to Cummins, a global power technology leader, where he has held various leadership roles during the last 7 years. In his current position of Aftermarket Director, Asia Pacific, Travis is responsible for the overall strategic direction, segment growth, and sales execution for the parts and service business. A passionate leader and lifelong learner, Travis is known for his exceptional leadership skills and ability to inspire and motivate his team. He has a strong focus on developing his employees and is committed to creating a culture of excellence and continuous improvement. And I'm so excited to have Travis joining us, not via video technology from across the world, but right here in the studio in Sydney, Australia. Travis, welcome to the Build Show, my friend.
Thank you, JP. It's great to be here.
Great to have you. And full disclosure, Travis is a client of mine. He's been a client for a while, and he's here in a personal capacity. I know you work for Cummins, but you're not a Cummins spokesperson as we sit here today. But the thing is, you know, everyone has a personal and professional segment in their lives. And when you take the Build framework, you're allowed to apply that to both aspects for massive success. And I know you've done that. And today's going to be a little bit different because we're able to talk to an existing client and talk about how you've actually operationalized Build in your life. So I'm really excited to have you here and to have this conversation. So I'm looking forward to that.
Right, yeah, as am I.
Yeah, so what are you excited about as we sit here, other than this show, obviously, but what else are you excited about in this time in your life?
I think it's for me, we've spent, quite a bit of time together over the past sort of 12 months or so. And, to be able to sit and, really reflect upon, the work that we've done together, the work that we've, that I've, implemented off the back of, of that, the training that we've been through, is just a nice. It's a nice opportunity, I think. And good to be able to pass on some of the learnings that I've managed to, been lucky enough to experience over the last sort of 12 months or so as well. That might help somebody else out there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and that's the whole point of this conversation, right? It's to provide some leadership kind of inspiration, maybe a little motivation, right? Because the thing about the Build framework is everyone takes it and it makes it theirs, right? Mm-hmm. And it's different for every single individual that I work with, and I love you giving me credit and all that, and thank you for that, but really I don't do anything. You do all the work, right? I simply facilitate an environment where you can thrive, right? But I love that you have thrived and are continuing to thrive, and I love that the Build framework has been a piece of that. So yeah, let's jump right in. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know yet what Build is all about, it's an acronym. It stands for Build Relationships, Understand the Business, Implement Strategies, Lead and Inspire, and Deliver Excellence. So let's start with B, Build Relationships, and really talk about maybe some of the significant relationships you've had, and really how maybe operationalizing Build has brought you more kind of to be mindfully aware of the relationship kind of sector in your life.
It's a great question to open up with. I think I've spent a career in sales and sales leadership. And building relationships is one of the fundamental skills of being a good salesperson. So I think for me, throughout my whole career, I've really had a focus on how to build strong relationships, nurture those relationships, and learn from those relationships, I think as well. I could call out one particular relationship, but I think a key thing for me, and probably what Build has helped me really understand as well, is that there's little things you can learn from every relationship, right? And sales is a bit like that. You need to be picking up those little skills along the way, those little bits of information, those little learnings that are going to help you in that next conversation or that next opportunity or that next relationship you're trying to build. And I think that sort of that really connects with the way that I've looked at building relationships in my personal and professional life as well, right? It's what can I learn and understand from this individual that may be a positive to, look to replicate or try elsewhere, or what are some of those things as well that I recognise from people that potentially aren't the most healthy
Right.
behaviours as well, that I can be aware of in my own life and relationship building. But I think if I reflect upon the relationships that have mattered to me, they're ones where people challenge you. They challenge you to try something different. To push yourself, but they will support you as well in that. I think that they're open. Again, those types of people I'm thinking about. Have an open door to listen to your challenges, your issues, and be able to provide some sort of context or guidance within the organisation or external personal relationship or whatever it might be, and just allow you to grow and develop as well, rather than just being a one-sided relationship, a manager-employee relationship, right, for instance, right? So I've been lucky to have a few of those through my career, but I certainly, I could look right across my career and see a number of people who've either provided a really positive influence or one that has made me realise that's a trait and behaviour that isn't helpful to build strong and trusting relationships.
Right.
So.
No, that's so important, because so many times I think we look at just the positive aspects, right? Because we're taught, look at the positivity, right? But some of the best lessons I think we can learn are from, failures, and also from, like you say, those things that maybe aren't the right traits that you want to kind of, embody and go towards, but actually kind of shy away from. Because the truth is, we all have the same human experience, right? Yep. So if you're feeling that is not being, the heart connection for build relationships obviously is to be authentic, right? So if you're not feeling that authenticity, which is kind of what I hear you saying there, right? Where it's kind of fake, or those things that are kind of not really resonating with you, then yeah, absolutely, we have to learn that, look, other people are going to feel those same ways if we exhibit those behaviors.
Absolutely.
So I think that's so important to relate to the audience today. So thanks for that. Anything else on build relationships that you want to share before we move on?
It sits at the start of the build framework, for a really important reason, right? Because it's the foundation and fundamental skill for the ongoing success of the build framework, right? And without those relationships, without that trust you've built, that rapport you've built, that understanding between each other, you really can't progress much further, just in general in a relationship, other than just the surface level of that relationship. If you want to get a bit deeper down and really build those bonds that are going to help deliver excellence,
yep,
a really strong, trusting relationship is critical to that. So yeah, it seems common sense, right? And it is, but it's still one that I think maybe some people just don't realise just how important it is to build those strong networks in your personal and professional life, to be there for the good times, but to be there for the difficult times as well. So.
Indeed. And in high performance, we often say common sense is not common practice, right?
Yep.
How many times have you heard me say that? And it's so true. So a lot of these things, are common sense, but the power of it and the beauty of build a lot of times is just taking kind of these common sense things and putting them together in a way that you actually, again, operationalize them so that you can have the positive impact in your life. So that leads to the next letter, which is you, understand the business. So there's a lot of understandings you have about build and how to put that in place, and other understandings as well. But what do you want to share here about the category of understand the business with our audience today?
Yeah, it's such a big topic, right? Understanding the business.
Yeah.
It's easy to say, but there's a lot behind it. I think personally, as I took on the role that I'm in today, one of the challenges, the initial challenges that I identified was, how was I going to get clarity and alignment for a new team in new territories across new markets that really is sort of multidiscipline as well.
Right.
And I think for me it was, I was looking for something that was going to help bring that all together for me. And I mean, understanding the business means understanding a whole lot of different little parts of the business, right? And having your people understand the business as well, right? It's not just about you understanding the business. Right. It's more so about the team understanding the business. And for me, for individuals to have clarity and alignment is so important for their own success and success of the team. You can without clarity and alignment, you can still meet most of your operational objectives, I think, right? But you aren't going to, again, deliver excellence without people really understanding their role, what's expected of them, how they fit into the overall, strategic picture of the organisation, and what the value is that they bring, right? And I think for me, again, the build framework is what provided our team that really clear single point of clarity and alignment to what it is we wanted to achieve. Because everything comes back to it, right? No matter what level you're at within the team, everybody plays a role in it, and everybody can feel that connection, that clarity, that alignment, which means that you have greater efficiencies, higher levels of motivation, a team that feel that that they're being listened to and heard as well, just through the act of engaging in the framework as we've operationalised it. So I think for me, that's probably the biggest understanding for me is that the framework as we went about implementing it, which I had some reservations about a little bit as well.
Sure, talk about that. Tell me.
Well, I think all organisations, big or small, but particularly big organisations, there's a whole list of expectations that come out of the business, whether it be from HR, from compliance through HSE, whether it be just your goals and objectives that are coming down from leadership, right? Like, what's the goal tree? So, for me, I had this framework that I believed in. I believed this was going to be what we needed, right?
Right.
But I'm about to implement something that is another thing for the team. It's another process. It's another expectation. It's another reporting activity. And even just for my direct team, I guess I was just a little nervous on how they were going to respond to it. So certainly talk through my mindset to it. In terms of what it is, the value that I see in it. What it's going to provide for us as a team. So really, set the scene and tried to provide that clarity to the value of it, and then sort of went quiet to see what the response was going to be. And I was really really pleased that the team were really positive about it. Right, this looks great, Trav. This looks like something that is going to help us, keep on the right path.
Not just another reporting exercise or another thing you're adding to us to add no value, but actually it adds value and allows us to thrive.
Yeah, absolutely, and it gives a tool for individuals who manage other people as well to take that to their team and and provide that development opportunity as well, in terms of here's something that will help you help build your career, help build your role. So as I said, I was really pleased that the team were open to it, accepting to it, saw value in it, because that was going to be the first hurdle, right? To get people on board with it.
Exactly.
So it's I think without clarity and alignment, you really just can't achieve excellence. It's fundamental.
Yeah. And I love how that understanding of the business is about not just understanding the business of other people's stuff, but your own and and the collective, right? And I love too how you shared, in transparency, that even understanding build at first, there's a bit of apprehension sometimes, right? Because it can be looked at as just another thing that's adding to the complexities, and we got all this stuff going on and what to do. But when you understand that and you kind of trust the process and you enjoy the journey, right? And you bring joy to it and you use that ability to clearly articulate what the reasonings are, and you bring that curiosity to it so everyone truly understands the business of what you're trying to do, then that can make all the difference, which of course leads to implement strategies. And you've talked a little bit already about how you've implemented build in your team and the rest of it, but what else do you have to say about the category of implement strategies? It's so very important, because you can build the right relationships and understand everything about what you need to know, but until you actually implement the strategy, until you actually do it, until you actually move the needle and have some momentum, then it's just a thought. As I like to say, hopium is not a drug that you take and everything just works out, right? So hope alone is not going to do it. It takes inspired, heartfelt action, and you got to do it right. And that's the heart connection, of course, to implement strategies. So what do you have to say to the audience today about implement strategies?
Yeah, I think probably it's a good segue into this, because I speak about operationalizing, implementing build, and I think after we'd got through the process of talking through this is what build is, this is what it's going to do for us, we then looked at, well, how do we operationalize this? How do we make this part of of our everyday, every week, every month business? So I think that the strategy that we implemented was a reporting tool that allowed everybody in our team of 65 across Asia Pacific, to have access to a report where they can enter in examples of where they are implementing build in their own role. So from a senior leader to a sales executive in a far Southeast Asian small country town, for instance, everybody has that same opportunity to communicate the great work that they're doing, right? And to really see what others are doing as well. Like it's as much as an opportunity to to promote the great work that individuals are doing, as it is to share within the team the great work that's being done, to inspire others to say, well, hey, look what Sam did over there. That's a great idea. Maybe I need to do a bit more of that myself, right? So we looked at our build tenants and we aligned that against what we determined were our key focus areas. So for each build tenant, we found probably 2 or 3 really key focus areas that we believed mattered to us and mattered to our organisation, our team.
Right.
And then aligned all of the initiatives, which were really the work that was done already at the start of the year, just fed really nicely into, well, where do they fit against a key focus area and a key build tenant? So it all had alignment right through, and that's that merging of the external build into the internal major organisation, right? Which worked really nicely, and that allows that alignment to individuals to say, hey, well, this is what I'm doing in my role. This is how it fits to that initiative, which fits to here, links to this build tenant. So I've got a great example of what I did the other day to build an external supplier relationship and enter that into the report. The report we review as an aftermarket leadership team on a monthly basis, so all of our leaders in the team get the opportunity to talk about what individuals within their team have been doing, or themselves as individuals, and then we pick and choose what are the really strong examples of what's come through for that month, and we feed that into a Power BI report that gets shared within the business. So we share it within the team, obviously, first, so people get to see their name up in a bit of lights, and in a report that comes out, we share it with leadership as well. So
that's great.
Yeah, so I think, in terms of implementing strategies, that probably has been number one. The other thing I'd say in terms of implementing strategies, a big piece of work that we've done is developing what our strategic plan is as a team. And the build framework played a role in that as well, because a key part of any strategic learning process is that environmental scan work. So it's really understanding your business, your competitors, the market, everything that you interact with, right? And if you don't have the right relationships with the people internally, externally, suppliers, etc., to go out and gather that information, those insights, you're not going to get the same quality of insights as you would if you if you didn't have a strong relationship.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then understanding those insights as well. So you need to understand your business and their business to really take those insights and work out, well, what is it that can we do with this insight? Is it just a piece of information, or is this a little nugget of gold that we can go and build a strategic initiative around to go and deliver more value in the market and deliver more value than our competitors? So,
Right.
So I think even that process, it was really neat to see the team, probably without direction, using build to go and develop our strategic plan as well.
Yeah.
So it's that was starting to see it just start to seep through the through the team and the organisation a little bit more. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. It becomes a way of thinking, right? And a way of operating. And what I loved about that is truly, I mean, you made it yours. And that's what I love about all my clients around the world, right? They all take build and they do their version of how that makes sense, right? And I love how it allows that line of sight too. It's so important in corporations today for everyone to see how their action and the way they're doing their action actually connects to the bigger picture. And taking all these multiple goals and objectives and putting them in, I call it the file cabinet of build, right? So everyone sees, oh yeah, all those go. And you're right, I've never found one objective ever that doesn't fit somewhere in build,
absolutely.
right? But when you put it there, it takes this messy desk and puts it all in one kind of cohesive vision where everyone understands and has the same alignment. So it really makes sense for the collective goals and objectives, which is so inspiring. So I love that. And I also love what you said about, it kind of seeping into the strategy. I mean, it's called implement strategies, right?
Yeah,
so that's it. So, but that's centrifugal looping, right? Because then you go back and you realize that this whole kind of collective connects to everything, right? So you build those relationships to understand the business so that you can develop the strategies so that you can then implement them, right?
Exactly.
And the more you think about this and the more that you, again, operationalize it, it becomes kind of the taxonomy that everyone is talking about, the more it just, like you said, becomes natural, because it actually is a more effective process to use than just kind of everyone kind of doing their own thing and not seeing the line of sight. I mean, if you compare kind of before and after, do you see a huge difference between before build and after build?
Yeah, I think it's a more scattergun approach. I would say before it's a what feels right to do rather than what aligns to like our framework, what aligns to what we've all agreed upon are our key focus areas. So I think it also helps, when you say alignment, it helps if somebody's looking over in this direction and not at our key focus areas, it's a much easier conversation to say, hey, why are you focused over there? This is where we want to invest our energy. We all agreed this, right?
Right, and here it is, right?
Yeah, exactly. So again, when you're going out and doing that strategic type work, it's really important that you're looking in the right areas as well.
Right.
And I think you can have gaps. You can have a bit of a gap in the strategy in terms of we've got something missing here, unsure of what this is. Well, again, it's that centrifugal loop. Well, we need to go back. We need to make sure that we're talking to the right person. We need to make sure that we're understanding what it is they do, how they do it, how we impact their role or their business, their organisation, and bring them in, right? So that they do share more. We get more insights, because strategy for me is all about the insights you need to gather to then determine what do we do with those. Is it an opportunity, a threat, or a challenge? So, and building initiatives to overcome those or to expand upon them.
Yep, I love that. And I love the reporting of it too, because there's so many opportunities, like you said, to celebrate the success, right? And I love, because I've seen examples in our work together where that just rolls up, right? So everyone on different levels, they're all doing build, and then they get recognized, and you highlight those ones, that rolls up to the next level, to the next, and everyone has that same, again, framework, so you're all on the same page, and that I think motivates people in the future too to say, hey, no, I'm gonna be the one that rolls up next time for understanding the business or for implement strategies or for whatever category it might be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it helps with retention. Like people people feel part of the team. They feel closer to the team. They feel they're, other than, say for a salesperson, other than just the dollars they're putting up on the board, you know, their voice is being heard as well. Their ideas are being heard. The great work they're doing is being recognised, right? And it's it's an opportunity to share that with senior leadership, and that some people don't get as often, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that for me was one of the real key selling points, I think, to the team, is that, hey, you've got some great people out there doing some really great work. Let's make sure the business knows about it,
Right.
rather than just the numbers. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's the how we're doing it, not just the what we're doing. But
Yeah.
when you focus on the how, the what gets done as well, right?
Yes,
In
yes.
an exponential manner. So
Exactly, yeah.
let's move now to L, lead and inspire. A big category. We could talk the whole time on that, I know. Part of what I want to talk about when it's appropriate is your high performance profile. I know that we created that as part of our work together, and it would be great to share that if you would like to. And I think that really speaks to how you as an individual lead and inspire. But before we jump into that, do you have any nuggets of wisdom that you want to share in the category of lead and inspire?
Yeah, I think again, through the work that we've done together, if I sort of bring it back to just myself as an individual, right? One thing that I think I had a gap with for a long time was really understanding purpose. Like what was my purpose? And I think I didn't really even understand what I was looking for. In fact, I thought what I was looking for was a roadmap of this, you do this, and then you do that, Trav, and then you do that, and that's your purpose, right? And I think I might have even, when we were talking at some point, sort of verbalized that. I want to make sure we get a purpose and I get a roadmap and I know where I'm going. But because I think for a lot of people, like, I don't think a lot of people really understand what their purpose is, right? I think you talked, the question, what's the purpose of life, right?
Right.
The big sort of esoterical question. But it's actually, the question really is, what's my purpose? Because if you can find that, then that's your pathway to your life, right?
Exactly.
And I guess that's how I've sort of come to understand, the topic of, what your purpose is. And I think leading and inspiring for me is having a much clearer understanding of that. And I guess the work that we did there really helped me understand, what's important to me, who I am, and what I want to, what I want to be to, when I'm leading and inspire, the kind of leader I want to be. If I'm looking at potential other opportunities, roles in the future, what does that need to look like because of what my purpose statement says? How does that align to my purpose, rather than what's the dollars, what's the objectives, what's the responsibility, what's the the standard JD, right? Like
Right.
it's how does this align to my purpose? And I think when you have a better understanding of purpose, leading and inspiring becomes it just becomes something that becomes more natural, I think. And I think also, one way that it's really helped me is being able to, ask some of the similar questions that you would have asked me to individuals in the team when, they're trying to find some sort of guidance or, a bit about their own pathway. It's sort of asking them similar questions, which, they've probably never been asked before, because I'd sort of never been asked those questions before, right?
Right.
And just allowing them just to spend some time thinking about that, coming back, talking about that, and that sort of formulating for them some of their own answers that they're looking for, right? So yeah, again, as you said, leading and inspiring is a big topic. But for me, I think a really, a clear sense of purpose, something that you hold yourself to account, to something you aspire to be as well, because some of it, we're not perfect. You need to remind yourself every day. I read my purpose statement every morning.
There you go. You have your North Star, right? That's what we say.
Yeah,
It's where you want to be.
Yeah, that's right. And it just helps refocus for the day, and helps me be a better leader.
Yeah. So with that, let's talk about your high performance profile, and what we'll do is we'll actually show that on the screen for everyone at home and all the viewers looking at that. So take a look at this high performance profile. This is something that we created for Travis. And Travis, why don't you just walk people through what they're looking at right now?
Yeah, so it feels feel a little exposed with all this on a page like this, JP. But yeah, it's a really it's a really important piece or plan on a page for me these days. I think the first thing we started with on this page was was our sort of global words. Our as you see across the top, open-hearted, authentic, and passionate. It's something that is a reminder for me, every day how I want to show up. I have reminders on my phone that pop up during the day at multiple times with those three key global words, which you sort of forget about it at times, and then just before you're about to do a meeting, have a conversation, go to a barbecue or something like that, right? Anything. It just pops up, and it's just like, hey, that's it's a really good, neat reminder. And I think for me, open-hearted, is about being, it's about being honest. It's about being genuine. It's about gratitude as well. So it doesn't need to be, open-hearted people could consider that to be sort of like a softness or a weakness as well. But for me, I think it's actually a strength. I think it's how do I show up and make sure that I make decisions, from the heart. Authentic's one that, for me, it's the most critical one, right? It's the one for me that, if I'm not authentic, then I'm a fraud, right? Like that's how I sort of see it. Authenticity to in personal or professional relationships to me is about being me. Standing up for my beliefs, staying true to beliefs even under difficult situations. And just being as real and honest as I can be with friends, family, loved ones, and then passionate. I just think I try and bring as much passion as I can to everything that I do. Certainly passionate, about my my professional role and engaging and helping to develop people and trying to bring that passion to to every situation and allow that to sort of almost sort of spill over. It helps sort of lift other people if it can as well, right? That level of passion.
Oh, that's great. And everyone's looking at this, as you can see, and it's so just comprehensive from the standpoint of if you look at these little drawings, and I know Travis, this, but just pointing it out to the audience that we have a team on our team that actually hand draws those, right? So every word you come up with, a Myers-Briggs or something like that, I think there's 16 different boxes they can put you in, right? But there literally is no box in this process, right? You could come up with whatever word you want to, and sometimes, people come up with the same word. We've already drawn that, but the point is you can come up with a word that we haven't yet. And what I love about, kind of behind the scenes stuff is we have to sit down as a team on my side and say, okay, how are we going to actually visually create that icon for that particular word, right? And then what that means, because again, we think in visuals sometimes. So the visuals of kind of showing this to you and giving you that feeling, and like you just articulated, open-hearted to you might mean something a little different than someone else, right? But the ability to explain that, and when you see these words, to have the depth of understanding, so when they do come on your phone as a reminder, that you pause and ponder and you feel into what those global words are. And you see across here too, we have interaction words. So yours are what? Positive, curious, and present. So what's the high level view on what that means to you as interaction words?
Yeah, I think for me these ones are they're the ideals that I want to show up to interact with, right? Like again, I would love it if every single time I turned up I was 100% positive, 100% curious, and 100% present. It doesn't always work like that. Sometimes you can be lacking a little bit of energy. It's a topic that may not be too exciting, but having these as reminders for me that sit on my desk, and I glance at multiple times a day. It just reminds me, hey, this is what you want to be. This is how you want to show up. So let's put that into practice, right? Even though this meeting might be a finance meting or something like that.
Hey, what's wrong with finance?
There's nothing wrong with finance.
Exactly.
But, so that to me is they're a check for me, just to check myself and give the best version of myself when I interact.
Right, that's great. And we have success markers over there on the other side, which for you are strategic, innovative, and collaborative. So what's that about?
I mean, these ones for me, these ones are really important professionally. I think I think in a leadership role, you must ensure that there is strategy behind what you're doing. Right? So that's why it's first and foremost there. Like, what is the strategy? What is it we're trying to achieve? Why is it we're trying to achieve that? And what's the outcomes we're seeking here? So. Again, that for me sits at number one, and then, innovation. Like if you're not innovating, you're not trying to look at things differently, look at how we've done it in the past. Is there a way we can do it differently in the future? How do we need to evolve to keep up with competitors, or even just internal, external innovation? Again, if you're not innovating, you're stagnating, and you're not really going anywhere. So. How we tweak it. And then collaborative, I mean, that one for me is, could almost be a global word, an interaction word. It could be any of those, right? Because that for me is a really important one. I like to make sure that, the people that I'm working with, particularly in my team, all have a voice. I like to say less than say more in some meetings. I like to hear everybody's viewpoint, and sometimes that can be frustrating for people in the team, but I like to give everyone the opportunity to have their say. And I think that to me defines success for me. Am I collaborative? Am I giving everybody that opportunity to be involved in the decision making where's appropriate, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. And again, those are your global words, your interaction words, your success markers. That all comes down then to the creation of your purpose statement. And I know you, like my other clients around the world, say it out loud every single day. I'm sure you have it memorized, but you can read it here today. And I'd like you to, just for the power of this, and I'm sure people can read it themselves too, but I want in your voice, I mean, just if you don't mind, just read your purpose statement so people can see kind of how this works and what you say out loud each and every day.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So the purpose of my life is to be open-hearted, authentic, passionate, full of giving energy, a positive example and role model for all, a true listener, selflessly offering my authentic support, to use my experiences and associated wisdom to help guide others to show up as their best selves in both their personal and professional lives, to reach true excellence and impact. And through that interaction with me, they'll receive positive energy and inspiration, so that we can all realise that regardless of our specific backgrounds and history, we can achieve our dreams while feeling valued and recognised, engaging fully in life while helping to connect us all to experience living on a more enlightened planet.
Right, and if you look at that and the impact of that, and I think we'll take the picture off the screen now so everyone has had a time to look at that, but just coming back to us now and talking about how that impacts you when you actually read that or recite that probably now out loud every single day. What does it do kind of for you?
It energizes me, JP. Like I say it in front of the mirror. I don't know why. I just chose. I felt it was more honest and holding myself to account if I stood in front of the mirror and said it to myself. I thought if I'm just sitting at my desk and I go, I need to read my purpose statement, read it out. It's sort of it's not really impactful, right? So I read it in front of the mirror before I start work every morning. It just gives me energy. It motivates me. It reminds me of what this is all about. It reminds me when I've got a day that might be a bit of a tough day coming up, right, work-wise, that I'm here for these reasons, and it helps. I think it helps me find the positives in things as well, right?
Sure.
It helps me find the examples, because it's like, if it's one of those things. If you're looking for something, you will find it, right? Good or bad.
Yes.
Right. And that could be a much bigger conversation, right? But for me, it's if I verbalize that, then that's what I'm looking for through the day.
Right.
And it really helps me, with conversations with the team, peers, managers, executive directors, whatever it might be, to make sure that I'm making decisions from the heart and from my purpose.
Yes. Well, and full circle, it absolutely helps you to lead and inspire in a way that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do, for sure. So thanks for sharing that and being vulnerable and putting it out there for all the audience to see. They all know who Travis Lloyd is, right?
That's right.
And we're going to segue now into D, deliver excellence. I mean, we've talked about it along the way. There's centrifugal looping, everything's connected in the build framework. But, if you talk about where it all comes together in the heart at deliver excellence, I mean, what do you have to share with our listeners today about the category of deliver excellence?
Yeah, again, I sort of come back to a word that the viewers have probably heard before in terms of state, but it's something that you talk a lot about as well. And I've probably mentioned it today. It's about showing up as your best self. So look, again, easy to say, but what does that really mean, right? It's a nice saying, right? But for me, it's about having all the different elements of your life in the right order to be able to show up as your best self to deliver excellence. And so that's it's the physical, mastery, physiology, the psychology, the process, all of those different parts of your life, having an understanding of what they are, how they impact your performance, and having just making sure that you're spending time in each of those areas to show up as your best self, right? Having the purpose statement, having your success markers, having your global words, reminding yourself of those, holding yourself to account of those to show up as your best self. Now, again, you're going to have times where you do and times where you don't, but it's just for me, it's about just continuing to take those small steps forward, getting the 1%ers right, in a sense, to give you that, that 100%, outcome that you're striving for, right?
Right.
So I think for me, it's a lot of things, right? It's not a simple, I will do this and you'll deliver excellence, but it's about the build framework. It's about working through that. It's about thinking bigger than just you and what you want to achieve, for instance.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and excellence is in every single area of your life as well, too. And we've talked a lot about how you've operationalized this in your work environment and all of that. Can you talk just a little bit about excellence at home and how, if at all, you've put the build framework into action in your personal life?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think again, one thing that comes to mind that I've certainly got much better structure around and consistency too is meditation, which I've always had an interest in meditation, and I've in the past done meditation courses and things like that, but never managed to actually structure something every day where I'm stopping and just being present. And spending some time with myself, and so certainly, I'm much better at that these days. I may not be perfect. I may not do it every day, but the days I do, I feel so much better. Right, the days that I get to meditate in the morning before work, you sort of feed off that every day, and I think I'm a better person at home because of it as well. Right, I think even just the last 12 months or so that we've sort of spent together, I think I'm a bit of an easier person to be around, maybe at home.
Maybe, just maybe. Coincidental.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think I'm a bit easier to just get along with. There's probably less stress and anxiety,
Right.
because I feel like I have better control over things. Right, I feel like I'm I've got an ability to control it through, whether it be meditation, being present, talking through my purpose statement. So I think, it's definitely flowed into my personal life. I'd like to think my wife Alicia would agree with that. You'd have to ask her.
Well, she's on the line right now. Alicia,
no. But yeah, so I think, as I said, I think it all there has played a role in just how just my own behaviour and what's important to me, and talking to our son who's 4.5 years old, and just starting to talk about these concepts very lightly, but just so he starts to hear these types of words, and he becomes curious about it, and gets some exposure to it. So
right.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Amazing. Well, again, we could talk forever and ever. I really appreciate this opportunity, and I know that you have been an inspiration to all of those listeners out there, and myself included, in just talking about, again, how you've made this yours and the journey that you've been on. And again, you've done all the work yourself. I just facilitated a process for you to thrive, and I am so excited that you continue to do so. How could people get a hold of you or connect with you if they want to hear more about your journey with Build or anything else they want to talk about?
Yeah, I think LinkedIn's probably the best professional network to connect with me on. You'll find me on there, and I'm more than happy to talk to anyone who's got interests or just questions, concerns about how they might go about the same process, or just learn. If I could pass on anything in terms of my learnings, I'd be more than happy to. So.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Travis,
No
for being on the show here today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
Thank all of you for joining us here as well. For more great resources to help you become your best self, including free worksheets and downloads, make sure to check out thebuildframework.com. That's it for this episode. I'm JP. We'll see you next time on The Build Show.